In November 2010, Indonesia had the honor of welcoming Austria two-term president to Jakarta. Even though the visit was cut short, President Heinz Fischer's trip produced significant business-related agreements between the two countries with a real commitment to increase bilateral relations. Dr. Heinz Fischer was re-elected as President of Austria in 2010, winning a second 6-year term in office with almost 79% of the votes. In Austria, the President is the head of state and directly elected by popular vote. Since I missed meeting him during his first-time visit to Indonesia, it is a great opportunity to meet President Fischer during my trip to Austria. Even more exciting is the fact that I get to see him at his presidential office at the Hofburg Imperial Palace, in a beautiful room that used to be the bedroom of Empress Maria Theresia, who used to reside here and whose historic legacy can still be seen in this enormous and beautiful palace. Excellency, thank you very much for this extremely special interview for me, coming all the way to Vienna,
it's my pleasure.
Austria. And I know that recently you just visited Indonesia back in November. Perhaps you could share with me a little bit about your impression of the visit to Indonesia and how significant was the visit for you?
Well, I was very happy about the invitation from the President of Indonesia for such an official visit, and coming back afterwards, we all were very glad and very proud about the success and the good mood and the good atmosphere. It was the first visit of an Austrian president, the first state visit. It was the visit in a country with 250,000 inhabitants. It was a visit with a country that has great significance and great influence in Southeast Asia. And it was a very friendly visit. And we shared common positions and common values in many questions. We exchanged on the necessity of having a peaceful dialogue between different cultures and different religions and different nations. We agreed on many subjects concerning the United Nations. We agreed on the importance of improving relations between Indonesia and Europe as a whole, and the European Union. And the European Union is in an important phase of its development after the Treaty of Lisbon. So we had a lot of subjects to discuss, and it was my pleasure and my honor to extend the invitation for the President of Indonesia to come to Austria.
Which will be when?
Which is scheduled for 2012.
2012. Now you said this is your first visit and the first visit for Austria.
Yes, I have to correct. It is my first
Your
visit.
first.
It was not the first of any Austrian president.
But
it was my first visit to Indonesia.
Right, but was there any particular reason why you chose that particular momentum coming to visit Indonesia?
I was already privately interested in Southeast Asia and East Asia. I made many private trips to Asia in the 70s with my wife, the culture, the religion, etc. But this is only my an additional personal motive. The official Austrian interest is that we are a country which is very much relying on international contacts. Our economy is mainly based on exports and imports. And we have developed good relations to China, which is this huge country with 1.3 billion inhabitants. We have good relations to Japan, and it was high time to continue looking to Indonesia, and in this context also visiting Malaysia to demonstrate our interest on the biggest country with Muslim inhabitants. And between Indonesia and Austria there are no obstacles. We have no problems where we have controversial positions. So it was a clear decision to say Indonesia is on the schedule of an Austrian president, and we were received very friendly and very positive.
And you're satisfied with the result of
Yes.
the visit?
And not only me, also the members of government who accompanied me, and the members of the big economic delegation, and members of the Austrian scientific community. We went back in the plane from Austrian Airlines, and we exchanged our experiences and the result of our different meetings. And if you put a line under the visit and you add all the values, it was a very high value altogether.
So there was, you felt it was productive, it was fruitful. So
Yeah.
what are the follow-ups to the visit, the concrete follow-ups? You mentioned you also brought some business delegation with you.
I don't know the figures for 2011 because the year just has started, but I'm absolutely convinced that the exchange, the commercial and economic exchange, will have a significant rise. Many contacts have been made on the field of science and education. Politically, as I said, the President of Indonesia accepted the invitation for 2012. And my experience is that if you have personally visited the country, and if you have personal knowledge about the people who make decisions in this country, all international questions can be handled in a more positive way, in a more easy way,
friendlier way,
in a more friendly way. And if there should be an international problem where Austria and Indonesia are trying to participate in a solution, things will be smoother and easier after such a personal
approach,
meeting and approach, and after you have created a good atmosphere. We cannot say we are not affected at all. Of course, we also had our problems. Our GNP in the year 2009 was shrinking.